Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer covering What is Budgeting? A Beginner's Guide. Today we're taking a really close look at a foundational concept that, let's be honest, pretty much all of us desperately need in our lives. We are going to unlock the secret to stress-free finances and literally strip away all that intimidation that usually surrounds money management. It doesn't have to be scary, and you definitely don't need a degree in advanced finance to get this right. Honestly, it just requires a simple but incredibly powerful shift in perspective. Okay, let's dive into this. On our roadmap today, we have 4 quick stops. First, defining needs and wants. Second, the danger of confusion. Third, budgeting, your ultimate solution. And finally, building a solid foundation. All right, section 1, defining needs and wants. This is the absolute starting point for everything else we're going to talk about. To find true financial clarity, I want you to honestly ask yourself right now, are you funding your future or are you just funding your feelings? Think about your spending over the last week. Were those purchases actually building a safety net for tomorrow, or were they just giving you a quick hit of dopamine today? You know, it's a pretty provocative question, but active self-reflection is the very first step we've got to take if we want to untangle our financial habits. So let's look at the strict definition here. A need is an absolute essential required for basic survival and maintaining a foundation for your livelihood. I want you to really listen to that word essential. We are talking about basic shelter, basic groceries to keep you healthy, essential utilities, and, perhaps the basic transportation required to actually get you to your job. These are the non-negotiable pillars that keep your life standing upright. Now flip that around and contrast it with a want. A want is a desire, or maybe a lifestyle upgrade that is not strictly necessary for basic survival. These are the optional enhancements. You know the ones, the daily artisanal coffee, the brand new smartphone upgrade, dining out, paying for 5 different streaming services. Now, don't get me wrong, they are nice to have and they definitely make life fun, but they are absolutely not baseline requirements for staying alive and remaining employed. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where we run into trouble, putting needs versus wants side by side. Modern marketing is pretty much entirely designed to convince you that a simple want is actually a strict need, blurring the lines in our brains. Recognizing the hard distinction between the two is honestly your greatest defense against chronic overspending. Section 2. The danger of confusion. What happens when we fail to separate them? Because when you start blurring the lines of necessity, this really dangerous domino effect begins. First, you end up wasting your hard-earned money on non-essentials, mistakenly believing you literally couldn't survive with them. Over time, this chronic misallocation of resources leads to developing deep financial instability. You look up and you find yourself living paycheck to paycheck, and not necessarily because you don't make enough money, but because everything feels like a necessity. And ultimately, this results in experiencing severe financial stress. It's a massive pitfall for everyday adults everywhere. You see, the confusion between needs and wants is a major financial problem. It is not just a math error. It's actually a deep psychological and behavioral trap. If you are a young professional feeling completely overwhelmed by your bank account right now, your stress is entirely valid. It usually isn't that you can't do basic addition and subtraction. It's that the behavioral habit of prioritizing wants as needs has completely hijacked your financial stability. Let's move to Section 3, budgeting, your ultimate solution. Yes, we are talking about the B word, but as a real remedy. So, the crucial point is how we actually apply this in real life. Budgeting acts as a logical, highly actionable procedure to cure the exact confusion we just talked about. Step 1, identify your essential needs. Literally write down what keeps a roof over your head. Step 2, separate out your lifestyle wants and be incredibly honest with yourself here. Step 3, prioritize funding your essentials first. Your absolute survival needs get the money before anything else, period. Step 4, allocate your remaining resources safely toward your wants. It's a straightforward, foolproof sequence to protect yourself. I really need to emphasize this. Budgeting is not a restriction, it is the ultimate tool for prioritizing what actually matters. We have got to strip away this stigma that a budget means you can never, ever have fun again. That is entirely false. A budget simply gives you permission to spend your money completely guilt-free on the things you want because you already know your survival and your future are fully funded. It's a real game changer. It is the ultimate tool for true financial freedom. Section 4, building a solid foundation. Let's look at the long-term stability this brings. Let's move to and see how this builds a completely different reality for you. By mastering this simple prioritization, you secure your basic survival requirements without a second thought.
You completely eliminate the daily anxiety and stress of money management because, well, the big decisions are already made before the month even begins. And most importantly, it creates an incredibly stable base for the future. You are no longer living on financial quicksand. You're finally building a fortress.
So I'll leave you with this. What want are you willing to cut today to secure your needs for tomorrow? It's a choice you have the absolute power to make right now. Reclaim your financial clarity, start strictly separating those wants from those needs, and let budgeting put your money to work for your actual future. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly, highly encourage you to take immediate control of your personal finances today. You've totally got this.